Amazing ancient art styles. Number 5. Cyclic figures. Cyclic dolls are in a flash unmistakable. Cut from white marble, they will in general show individuals with stretched heads, pointed noses, and smooth lines. There is some proof that the clear heads may whenever have been painted. However, today, they gaze out from gallery cases with totally passive faces. Despite being made over at any rate 1,000 years 3,300 minus 2,300 BC, the puppets show a strikingly steady style. The standing puppets are regularly female and are appeared with arms collapsed over their stomach. Some of the time the pubic hair of the dolls is damaged and penetrated into the marble. Another sort of cyclic figure speaks to artists. Some of them play a huge hop that lays on their knee while another blows a twofold line. The bending states of the puppets would not post of spot in a cutting-edge workmanship establishment, and they have been found over the Cyclic islands, proposing they were only a mainstream in their own day as they are valued today. Number 4. Voluptuous Venus. The ancient Roman goddess Venus was the embodiment of love and sexuality. Her statues from the classical age are therefore representative of what sculptors of the time found most attractive. If the group of sculptures known as Venus figurines also show idealized womanhood, then stereotyped ideas of beauty have changed over the millennia. The Venus figurines tend to show rotund women with oversized breasts, ample hips, and large buttocks. Sometimes their private parts are similarly emphasized. The earliest of these figurines, the Venus of Hull Fells, was carved from a mammoth tusk and dates from around 35,000 years ago. Other figurines are made of stone or ceramic, and most are relatively small in size. This suggests that the Venus figures were meant to be carried around with the people who owned them. No one can say exactly what the around 200 Venus figurines represent. Were they a mother goddess? Were they fertility idols? Were they simply figures of beauty and security? It is unlikely that we will ever know for sure. Number 3. Etruscan Sarcophagi. Placing a painting or image in a grove is one way of making sure that the appearance of a person is not forgotten. But if you want to really capture how a person looks, then Etruscan sarcophagi are probably the way to go. Etruscan tombs often took the form of a terracotta statue of the deceased. They are almost always shown as if they were reclining on a banqueting couch and enjoying an eternal feast. The tombs did not contain a body because the Etruscans cremated their dead. Perhaps that is why creating a lasting monument of the dead was so important to them. The terracotta of the tomb was painted in brilliant colors. Unlike in some ancient societies, it seems that women were as important as men. Married couples often shared a tomb and were shown side by side in death. One sarcophagus belonging to a woman called Siam T. Hainania T. Lesnosa was found to contain the woman's complete skull. Using this skull, researchers were able to reconstruct her appearance in life and showed that the woman depicted on top of the tomb really was the woman buried in it. Number 2. Hand stencils. Hands are among the most well-known finds in Stone Age workmanship. Rock faces from South America to Europe to Asia, to Australia are completely shrouded in the possession of our progenitors. These pictures of hands stretch back similarly as 39,000 years. Sometimes the craftsman would utilize powdered colors and spot their hands straightforwardly in them prior to leaving an impression on the stone face. All the more regularly, however, they would utilize the cylinder to blow watered down shape over the hand to leave a negative picture on the divider. From examining the hands, we realize that this sort of workmanship was made by men, ladies, and youngsters. We can even tell that individuals in the Stone Age were generally correct, given on the grounds that the greater part of the hands portrayed were left hands. The craftsman would have held the cylinder utilized splash, the color in their prevailing hand. What the motivation behind this workmanship was remains discussed. The imprints are regularly found in the most difficult to arrive at places in a cavern framework, while level segments of divider were left plain. Number 1. Dargah. The absolute most art earthenware ever constructed more likely than not had a place with the Jomon time of Japan that endured from 14,000 to 300 BC. Since Japan was so plentiful with food supplies, at the time, the populace had the option to shape steady, inactive networks that delivered a lot of earthenware. Jomon earthenware was set apart by lines of string being squeezed into the clay. As well as adorned parts, they likewise made dolls called Dargah. These human considers can be isolated along with a few sorts. Some of them look like horned owls, others have heart-formed heads, and others are goggle-eyed. It is these goggle-peered toward puppets that have pulled in the most attention. The dolls sometimes look as though they are wearing elaborate space suits, and their goggle eyes take after head protectors. They have been taken by some periphery scholars to be proof of antiquated outsider guests. Actually, nobody can say without a doubt what these puppets were utilized for. However, they were the result of stunning antiquated specialists, and not outsiders.